All right, Simon, you know what time it is?
No, what time is it?
It's design time.
Yeah. You're always shocked when I actually have a feedback or a commentary on design. I have been doing this for a little while.
I actually love it. It makes me so happy.
Yeah.
I love seeing you so enthused and into it. Well, we have with us somebody that really specializes in design. I mean, really has a great reputation. And that is Emmanuel Belliveau. And you know what? It's FLORO Home is his company. But Emmanuel, welcome to the program, and I'm going to let you embellish. How's that?
Well, thank you so much. So happy to be here. It's very kind of you to have me in today. A little bit about me. Well, I started in Vancouver quite a few years ago. I won't tell you exactly when because that would age me, and I like being young.
So really, he's like 28?
There you go.
In euros, yeah.
27. Seriously, that would age me. Come on. No, I started in Vancouver many years ago, and I started at an architecture firm called FNDA Architecture with Farouk Noor Mohammed and Farida Noor Mohammed, and they were the most amazing and gracious people to work with. Very creative people. Farouk's an amazing architect. Had a nice size office there where I was able to actually work with the architects and interior designer and assist them and learn everything over their shoulders. And that was my education into design.
And it was one of those educations I remember you telling me where, as we all have our first opportunities where we want to do a career of choice, you don't necessarily get paid well. But what you do is you get the best payment in terms of experience.
Absolutely. I think I was there 16 to 18 months, and I made a total of about $1,000.
But that's an internship program.
For
and
sure.
You're learning from the best, and you can either, make a little bit more money and learn nothing.
Agreed.
It's what I've been telling Erin for a long time now.
How's an internship
Bam.
going over there?
All right, but let's now bring it to today. I mean, at the end of the day, you are exceptional at what you do. You have an amazing reputation. But at the same time, you're also like us. I mean, you give back and you make a point of helping and educating people and not just with their design choices, but more importantly about how they can build and build wisely. And that's where the whole thing came about with your, what we call green building initiatives. And more importantly, where you did a fantastic show. So tell us more.
Yeah, so we had a show for Cineflix, for the Discovery Channel and for HGTV here in Canada. It's a show called World's Greenest Homes.
Loved
we had
it.
a chance to travel all around the world looking at green architecture and design. The focus was obviously environmentally friendly homes that were sustainable in many different ways. They're energy efficient. They use products that most people wouldn't normally think to use in them. So we had a chance to travel to England, to California.
Yeah, that was a tough gig, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
And you also, I mean, when you're going out there and you're getting to see, you learn so much as well. I mean, that's one of the things I know it's important to you is that you got to be learning. You got to keep learning. And it was also ahead of its time. I mean, Simon, this show, I mean, today we just talk green, 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 and it's the thing. But back then, I mean, this is not that long ago, but I'm saying this because it's changed so much even in 5 years. But that show was really ahead of its time, but people can still see it.
Oh, yeah, they can. Of course, you can still watch the show. You can just go on YouTube, actually. You can find links to it. I think there's actually a network in Australia that bought the programming, and they're actually selling the show in DVD format, so you can buy it from there. No, as far as the show being new at the time, when it first started, I remember when I got cast to the show, and I was heading up for filming, and I was talking to some friends about it. So what's a new show you're doing? I said, oh, it's called World's Greenest Homes. And they're like, well, why green,
right?
Why green?
Yeah.
Are you going to do like different colors every year? Like, what's the deal? I'm like, no, actually, it's
No
not.
idea.
So no idea.
There's so many real estate shows out there, and most of them, in my opinion, are just boring as hell. But I actually found...
Now tell us how you really feel, Simon.
I just don't hold out. Well, there's a little bit of repetition, right?
Yeah.
Flip this, renovate that. It's a little bit of repetition, and for me, it's a little boring.
Well, let's find out from Emmanuel, though, the highlights.
But Emmanuel, yeah, I mean, your show was so fascinating because it was every single segment is different. You're in a different place. There's a different angle on what they were doing. You had to have some favorites.
Yeah, there were. I mean, one of the first houses we did was a show in Germany. It's actually the very first house we covered was a show in Germany. It was called a heliotrope, and it was designed by an architect in Germany who basically started the first solar community, if you will. And this house they designed was basically round, like this glass is, and on top of it there were solar panels, so it looked a bit like a satellite, but this thing actually spun on a center axis. And what it did was it would always face the sun in the wintertime, and in the summertime it would always face away from the sun. And the cool thing was it was on a hill like this. So on the side of the house that was down the hill, it was a village, so it looked into a village, and then behind it there was a vineyard. So depending on the mood,
Sounds terrible.
it was horrible. Yeah, it took about 45 minutes for the house to rotate, and the gentleman's wife said to me, she said, sometimes I want to feel like I'm a member of the community, so I'll face the town. Other times, I want to read a book and be alone, and I'll turn the house around and I will face the vineyard.
How's that for view?
Right? It was amazing. They
Choose your
rotate
view.
the house and I would normally just get up, leave my sofa, and go into a different room
Yeah,
to
for
change
sure.
the view. But she's like, I'll push a button. So 45 minutes later, they're coming somewhere else.
So, Emmanuel, talk about when you were doing that show. You must have seen a lot of products and things that we call environmental friendly that are now bringing, what we call it's the standards today. So, what are those things that back then you thought, wow, this is something else and it's going to make a big impact, and now today it's just common theme?
I would think composite material is probably a big thing. Back then, people were doing composites for decking material and composites for really rough things. Today, you've seen composites in a lot of finishing products, whether it's actually, once again, in flooring material and tile, in exterior finishes on houses, on interior finishing as well. You're seeing composites becoming very popular. And obviously, a composite is taking recycled materials, bonding it together with some kind of adhesive and making something new out of it. So,
now let's go back to design for a second.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking FLORO Home, what do you guys specialize in?
We specialize in residential and commercial. Most of our time right now is spent in residential. I do prefer that type of work personally. We like to do modern construction, contemporary work. So whether it's a new build or renovation, we definitely love to do that kind of stuff.
No, it's not just yourself, of course.
No, of course not. I have Maria Perquetta. She's my business partner. I affectionately call her the whip, as without her direction, my creativity would be spanning everywhere. But she keeps me focused.
It would be all over the map, right?
That's right.
So what do you see happening in today's design? I mean, we talk about trends, and trends can stay for a little bit. They come and go. They're fleeting at times. But really, what are some things that people should have as what we call, Simon, just the essentials?
The new basics.
The new basics, yeah.
Let's go to kitchens for a quick example.
All right.
When you go to kitchens, we've often seen marble being used in homes because marble is a very, very classic material to use in a home. But the problem with marble is that it doesn't work very well if you're in a very busy kitchen. It gets beat up pretty quick. Now, in Europe, they've embraced the idea that marble ages. Obviously,
and
there
they
are
like
things,
it.
and
Yeah.
they love it. Things are much older there, so they have they've accepted the idea that things age and it's okay for it to age.
Now, is marble, is it because it really it soaks in? So
It's
anything
very
that
porous,
spills,
yeah.
it's very porous.
It's porous
and
it's
soft.
brittle. It's
Yeah,
soft.
It's soft. Yeah.
Yeah, it's soft. So now what they have is they have material that now is basically, once again, it's a composite quartz products, but actually made to emulate and look like marble that you can put in kitchens. So once again, you're taking a classic element, putting it back into a kitchen, but sustainability is there too because it's a product that's made from recycled materials. It's brought together. It's man-made, and you're not taking a resource out of the environment necessarily to make it, although it does use some quartz to do that. But it's in a controlled environment, so there's a lot less waste in the production of it as well, and it's long-lasting.
It's long-lasting. Now, one of the things that we had the opportunity, of course, when we were back at the Fall Home Show, we did a great tour and got to see center islands. And you actually, it's genius because, Simon, in condos, a lot of people, they can't have one. And more importantly, I mean, you'd want one. Everybody wants to have a center island, but you actually have a solution for that, don't you?
We had a conversation with Castle Life about what to do in the home, and we designed the space. We wanted to have a kitchen, a dining room, and I wanted to have an island for it. And we decided to come up with the concept of actually creating our own island furniture, if you will. So basically, I've gone ahead and designed a piece of kitchen furniture, which is basically a 4-foot island and a 6-foot island, where they each have an overhang or no overhang, depending on what you want. They have stainless steel legs. They can come polished. They can come chrome. They can come in a painted finish. And in the box in it as well, 6 drawers, which can come in different kind of finishes as well.
It's genius because, Simon, that's one of the things that, you just, to try and fit that into your space, it's very challenging. But now there's an option, and it's something that you can actually either match what you have, or, as you said, before, make it a feature unto itself.
Yeah, the idea, you could have a kitchen that's one specific color and it looks a certain way, and you might want to have an island that really looks completely different from that. So, like any kind of special furniture you might have in another area of your home, you can have a piece of special furniture in your kitchen as well.
All right, now before we wrap up, in your mind, a lot of people, when we're talking condo design, and I was going there for a second because they're usually smaller spaces, they usually chop them up by having tile in the entranceway, tile in the bathrooms, tile in the kitchen, and then some wooden floor, and then some carpet in the bedroom. What's the rule on that, please? Because to me, it just seems like busy and crazy and really hard to maintain.
Well, it depends on what kind of person you are. Some people, if you have a dog, then obviously you have issues with having all hardwood flooring. The dog comes in, they have dirty feet, or you might even come in with dirty feet and ruin your floor. So it all depends a lot on who the user is. I like to see hardwood floor through the whole house. Personally, I love it. Obviously, in the bathrooms, I wouldn't put hardwood floor just from the use of it. They've got some amazing tile, though.
That looks like
That looks like hardwood floor.
Yeah.
I saw this beautiful, beautiful tile. It comes in an 8-inch width and a 5-inch width, and you could actually lay it out in different formats. And if you could do a bath, I was just thinking about this idea. My next bathroom, I want to do it. Of course, someone's going to do this now, but that's okay. I don't mind sharing because ideas we share, right?
That's
what
right.
That's all about. Whoever does it first, please take a picture and send it to me. But here's the idea: this beautiful hardwood floor tile on the floor, and everything else in the bathroom just straight white.
Brilliant. When we were at the Fall Home Show, we also did a segment with Glenn Peloso, Jamie Alexander, and of course, Emmanuel, we ran into. He had the opportunity to do an actual featured home, and we got to walk the space and see all this firsthand. We have a video featuring this. So that's realestatetalkshow.ca, and lots of information there. And of course, we have to have you back because there's so much more to talk about.
Love to be back. Thank you.
Excellent.
Well, nice to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.